Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel and welcome to a daily energy check. Long time no see, but hopefully you've enjoyed the new moon in Gemini reading that I did with the main themes and also a message for each zodiac sign. And those readings are for sun, moon and rising, so technically you get 3 messages because you have 3 positions, unless they repeat each other, of course, right? And I recommend watching for all 3. New moon is going to be peaking tonight. It's going to be 11 p.m. My time, New York time. Of course, if you're in Europe or Asia, it will be May 27th for you. So you can check your own, time zone and timing. But basically, especially if you plan to do some kind of ritual, but basically it's still ahead of us. So if you haven't seen that reading, please check it out. It is definitely worth watching. It gave a lot of food for thought for me, and also what I've heard from a few other people who watched it. So take it into account, or take it or leave it, basically. And as for today, we're gonna do a regular checkup. I only have about a week left in this setting with this backdrop, so after that it's always gonna be an Easter egg surprise kind of thing, of where I'm gonna be and what I'm gonna look like and what will be the lighting and anything and everything. I might do a few readings outside, we'll see. I'm considering that. The problem is that these days is like at least where I am, it's practically impossible to be by yourself and like to have peace and quiet. And even in my area, like, and in my where I live here, it's generally a great area outside that I can use, and it's beautiful and wonderful, but we have a lot of dogs and people walk their dogs all at different times, so you can't even pick a good time really, because somebody is gonna be around, the dog is gonna be barking most likely, or at least running around, and it's just like it becomes too much for me. So, but we'll see. I promise you it's gonna be interesting for the next couple of months. It's not even like a week-long vacation. No, we're talking months here. Anyways, we'll start with a message from the Wisdom of the Oracle today, and then we'll go to Tarot. If you are new, please subscribe to my channel and check out the description box for more services and content that I provide. And for all of you watching, please don't forget to like the video, especially if you enjoy my content. So, Divine Feminines, what is your message for today? Truth be told. Oh, it's funny. The last time I used it, this was the message for Divine Masculines. So, the energy flows. It's all ebb and flow. But now it's time for Divine Feminines to face the truth and look for the truth. And I mean, actually, when I was saying it the last time around, I didn't even know how close I will be myself to this kind of message and to the quest for the truth in my own life, right here, right now. But now I can say a few days later, now that I'm seeing this for Divine Feminines, yes. And it gave me, like, there was a specific story, there was a specific incident that happened to me that asked me to go there. And it wasn't all hunky-dory, of course, like I called it an accident, or an incident. It was somewhat emotional, somewhat even triggering, but I went through it anyway because something told me deep within me that the truth is important here, that I want to understand, that I don't want to just leave it, I don't want to just drop it, I want to see what it is, look at it from different angles. And I found the truth, and it was beautiful. Like, that realization itself was beautiful, and I kept smiling. It's like, oh my God, like, there could be consequences out of it, and me falling out with a person. There could be, like, generally, like, it was silly because there was misunderstanding there of like who said what and thought what and what was that about, right? And so many times in life we go through these moments and we don't acknowledge them truthfully, truly. A lot of times we either choose to walk away, or we dig into our heels, or we suffer in silence. But very rarely do we actually take the time and the effort to get to that point of truth. So very important, I would say. Masculines, you got happy, happy today, number 26. Masculines are happy. This is like the equivalent of the sun card in this deck, honestly, right? This is like, in terms of the direction or the message, this is the message is basically express gratitude, rejoice, celebrate whatever it is for you. Of course, in a healthy way as much as possible. I'm not talking like go out to the bar drinking all night. Although if you feel like that's what you need right now, maybe that's the thing. But generally it's like do it through arts, do it through self-expression of some sort, or getting together with people you love, right? It can look very different for different people, but essentially that's the moment of like rejoicing and sharing that vibe, that sunshine with people around you. Expressing gratitude to the divine and of course to those people. All right, let's see what we have with tarot today. Three of Pentacles is the bottom of the deck. So, you know, we can do all of this alone. And when we think sometimes that it's all about us or we know better than anybody else, and I know it sounds like, oh my God, who would think that? And we know that it's not true, like we understand rationally these things. But when it comes to a specific situation, especially if it's triggering somehow, then we immediately forget all this good stuff that we know. And it's all just kind of like, I know the best, like who are you to tell me X, Y, and Z kind of a thing. But remember that that's why we are experiencing this life with other people. There is a big value in hearing their side of the story and or the way they see us or the opinion that they are trying to express. Two of Swords. Yeah, it actually helps with, I like the new moon here in the card, if you can see it in the background, very much for the current journey, especially because it's new moon in Gemini. And Two of Swords, the swords are about our air sign. Gemini is air sign. So, you know, like this is like that product of overthinking. Like we can go too deep or we can obsess too much. Like it's all that energy. But it's up to you to make that choice. You think thoughts, but you're not your thoughts. You can get yourself out of that analysis paralysis just as easily as you got yourself into it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you see where you went wrong or why is it such an obsession? Why are you so fixated on this? And then you can let it go and you can free yourself, hopefully. Wow, feminine, your energy today is 10 of Cups clarified by Page of Cups. Your desire of fresh energy, fresh inspiration, and just feeling of ease, you know, it's kind of like just flowing with it, you know, when it's like you're following the flow and there's water here and there's like this flowy energy here. So to me, it's kind of like, I don't want to make a lot of effort. I just want to enjoy the natural flow of things, right? And there is, I mean, hopefully you follow that desire and you give in to that because it might be counterintuitive, again, with our rationale, with our brain. But if you allow yourself to go there, you may be seeing the big wisdom in it. That we feel like when we are just following the flow, right? A lot of times on the surface, it looks like we're passive or we're playing, you know, like we're not doing anything serious, i.e. like, you know, productive. But you will discover that a lot of times this is where the wisdom is. And moments where we take it easy, where we go with the flow, are moments when we can find the insights, the breakthroughs that we've been looking for rationally. Masculines, your energy is 9 of Wands clarified by 6 of Pentacles. So this is an interesting situation because masculines are wondering how far can and should they go in helping other people. It's like, yeah, I know, you know, I'm trying to help everyone, and people who know me, they know that about myself, and they end up taking advantage of me, right? Or they know that they, like, I cannot resist this, so they ask for so much, even if they don't think they're taking advantage, but like they just keep asking. and I'm afraid to say no because, you know, I don't want to ruffle some feathers, or I don't want to be ungrateful, especially if it's a man and women asking for help. It's kind of like part of that chivalry code, you know, like I can't say no to this. But deep down, I definitely don't want to do this for whatever reason. So masculines, look at it. First of all, 9 of Wands is, again, that fear that's in our head. It's overthinking, but a little bit in a different way, right? Definitely tune into your energy. See if it's like, if it feels natural, you know, if it feels good, because it makes sense to help others. If your cup is full and you have extra that you're ready to give away, to share, you know, to give. But if you are somehow struggling yourself, then you're overextending yourself in a way where you abandon yourself, where it's unhealthy to you, where the self-sacrifice by definition is unhealthy in terms of dynamic and karma. So, you know, there's no one rule of thumb here. Well, I mean, I guess the rule of thumb is follow the intuition and the feeling inside of your heart of, are you feeling comfortable with it, or do you feel obligated to help for whatever external reason. Additional question for today. Knight of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Ooh, how do we choose our path? That's what I'm hearing. How do we know that our path is in alignment with our inner desire? Feminines, wow, the Chariot and 6 of Wands. Wow, it even has similar colors. These are different decks, obviously, but look at that, exactly the same combination of colors. And there is a little bit of the masculine there with red and orange and even a little yellow, but there's also a lot of purple, which is crown chakra and, you know, intuition and feminine. So it's like, you know, you are the creator, really. So you can't ask somebody else for help with it, because only you would know, and that's the most important rule, you know. And then I love the 6 of Wands, because you can imagine yourself celebrating when you already have it. How does it make you feel? And that is when you will pretty much immediately know if it's a true inner desire, or if you're chasing something because it looks good on paper, because other people have it, or somebody challenged you on that, or you feel competitive, or whatever else, right? Are you gonna truly celebrate it, and why? You know, like, what would be going through your mind and heart at that moment? You know, why is this important? Why was it important to achieve, to go for this and to get it? That's the vibe, really. Masculines, 4 of Pentacles clarified by the Fool. So masculines, for you, it's important to not to be too tight in whatever you think is available or possible, feasible, you know, what makes sense. Don't sit too much in the energy of like, what makes sense right now. Live more in the energy of like, anything is possible. I just need to put a little bit of trust and energy into it, right? It's like when you're cooking, like, these are the ingredients, and then see miracles unfold. And, you know, I'm the only person who's going to judge myself if something goes wrong, and I don't have to do it, right? So if I don't do it, other people won't do it. And even if by some chance somebody says something, I'm not going to care, because you know what? I trusted and I had fun with it, and I learned something out of it, right? And that's what matters at the end of the day. Maybe that's why that inner desire came up in the first place, to teach me this particular lesson. How are the feminines seeing the connection at this time? 5 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles. So we have a synchronicity here. We had 4 of Pentacles here. Yeah, so masculines are kind of holding back and thinking through things, like, how far do I want to go with this? And there is a definitely, at least the feminines see that there is an impact, there is some pressure coming from other people of a certain way the masculine should be, certain items in life that they should achieve, certain way they should look, all this, like, certain items, you know, of status that they should have. There is a lot of that pressure on them. sometimes in subtle ways, but it still directs the choices that they make. So not the best energy to be in, I would say, but feminines definitely show their respect and patience with this. It's kind of like, yeah, this is the path that they are supposed to take. This is the road that they want to follow. And, you know, it's important to let them do it. How the masculine see in the connection. 3 of Swords and 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, masculines are partly holding back because as soon as they start getting excited and getting more opened up about, like, towards the feminine, they immediately get this fear that their heart is going to be broken, and they definitely don't want to do it. It's almost like, I don't have time for this kind of vibration, you know, like I have so many plans, I have so much going on, I don't have time for heartbreak and losing my shit and just like quitting on all these other wonderful things that I'm doing because it's gonna take over me, right? So there's definitely fear in there, and right now, like, masculines are taking it easy because it feels to them that they can't gamble what they currently have, what they're working on, too much. Really, that's the thing. But what I can say energetically, what I'm also feeling here is the heart healing process is in progress, so it's not stagnant. And for masculines watching, don't think that you're exactly where you were 3 years ago when something terrible happened. No, you have been healing, but it's not that easy, and depending on how traumatic the past was, it may take a while. So don't be hard on yourself, but definitely take some small steps where you can. So it's not like all or nothing, you know, we don't want that dualistic approach. We want to be able to start taking some steps towards being more vulnerable with feminine or other people in your life who you're close to, and being able to connect deeper with them, right? That's going to be healing your heart much, much faster than you trying to do it on your own time. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Hopefully this was useful reading for you. I love you all. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and until next time,